Hi there guys, we're back with another video, and today I wanted to do the fact that it's New Year's Eve. I just want to get my best and worst movies of the year list. So I mean, 2025 was a really big year for movies. We had the first Captain America movie in 9 years. The first, just a bunch of movies. Final Destination, like big movies this year. The start of the DC, really big launch of the DCU. So, yeah, I just want to give my best and worst movies this year. And as in worst, I don't mean disappointing or anything like that. I mean generally movies I didn't like. So there aren't a lot of them. There's only 4. Because it's movies that I just think are bad movies. I mean, I just don't really think that there were any other movies that I've seen that were bad movies. And obviously, I haven't seen every single movie this year. I haven't seen movies that I wanted to see. I haven't seen movies that I was planning on seeing. I haven't seen 1,000 different movies that I was thinking about seeing. I was thinking, oh, maybe I intend on seeing them, but it was just a busy year, so I can't watch every single movie that I want to watch, or just movies that I generally wasn't interested in. For example, Snow White, the Snow White remake. I mean, that looked abysmal. I'm not a big fan of I don't like princess movies and that shit. I don't like that, and the movie looked abysmal from everything that I've seen of it, and I wasn't gonna watch it. I wasn't gonna waste my time watching it. Generally, these are movies that I was interested in, or I watched because of a particular reason. If I watch because of a particular reason, well then I will get to it, right? So yeah, so I, but yeah, so next year is a big year for movies. So, anyways, so getting my top 4 worst movies of the year, and the movies I've seen, obviously. So just starting off with number 4, which is a Minecraft movie. And generally, I wasn't interested in seeing this. When I seen the trailer, I was like, "Yep, not happening." Never been a Minecraft guy. I haven't played it once. I haven't played the game like that. Seriously. So when the trailer came out, I was like, "That looks bad," and then everybody was going to see it as a joke. And my friends who are big Minecraft fans, well, then we wanted to see it together because I wanted to obviously screw. Yeah, I wanted to do all the shit like chicken jockey and I am Steve and stuff. Not like throwing popcorn or anything like that, but just like the stuff that everybody wanted to do, and that's why everybody saw this movie, right? So that's why I went and we saw this movie, and I thought it wasn't bad. Okay, I expected an awful movie, and it was bad, but not awful. Okay, there were a couple of funny jokes, like particularly at the end, when like when Steve was like with the main villain, kept trying to like pull out a knife, and I was like, Do you have a tiny knife you're gonna pull out and try to stab him?" I thought that was pretty funny. It was a good cliche because that happens in a lot of movies, like in the Avengers or anything like that, when the villain's like, "Oh, come closer here," and then they try to like pull out a knife and stab him. That happens in the Avengers with Thor and Loki, and yeah, I do like that. That was really funny, and that was there were a couple jokes like that I thought were okay. That's pretty funny. Um, and yeah, and this is a good movie for the fans, so I really don't have anything wrong with it, okay? So it really doesn't matter to me, and I enjoyed going to the movie theater as an experience. Okay, and yeah. Anyway, so this next one. This next one is I Know What You Did Last Summer, and man, okay, so I didn't think this movie was awful. I just thought it was bad. Okay, I didn't think it was horrible, anything like that. Just thought it was bad, okay? And I think that this movie had a great concept and a great idea, and everything, if executed properly, could have made a really good movie. Because I really liked the first 2 movies. Okay, I hadn't seen the first 2 movies. I saw the trailer. I was already sort of a little bit interested in watching them, maybe because I love Kevin Williamson. And I'm pretty sure he wrote the first 2, or at least the first one. And I love the Scream movies. So yeah. Um, and although these movies are kind of rip off of the Scream movies, I mean they're still really good. And I watched the trailer and I was like, oh, I watched the trailer for the new one. I was like, okay, that actually looks pretty good, right? So I went back, watched the first 2. Really liked him. I even like the second one. I know a lot of people don't like that. I don't know why. I mean, Jack Black's. I even think that Jack Black's pretty good in it. So I liked the first 2. Watched the third one. Absolutely abysmal. awful piece of dog shit. One of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. Awful budget, camera quality, acting, awful script, awful characters, and just a random twist that the killer from the first two movies, who, mind you, this franchise has never went supernatural, is the killer for this one, even though he explicitly died in the last movie. And the explanation is that he's a zombie. She's a rotting zombie. First off, why is a zombie chasing them? Okay, why? It makes no sense. And second off, this franchise is never went supernatural. I mean, the first one you might think, oh, it's a dead guy. No, it's not a dead guy. Okay, the guy survived a car accident. The guy survived getting hit by a car, and then he decided to come back for revenge. And then they seemingly killed him. But then in the sequel, we find out the guy also survived what happened in the first movie, and then he got his son along to kill all these people. So yeah, this franchise never was supernatural. Okay, and then this movie decided to do that movie. So I was excited for this one. Seemed like they were retconning the last one. All excited, and then I saw a review, saw that it looked really bad. People were kind of like, oh, the twist pretty well. So I'm like, it's Ray, isn't it? Like, it's Freddie Prinze Jr. It's Ray. And it's like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure by the way you're talking about the twist, I'm pretty sure it's Ray. And people were saying like, oh, it's stupid, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Ray. Decided, you know what? No, I decided to watch spoiler review. I was scared because I was like, I don't know if I really want to know this. I was like, whatever. People seemingly hate the movie, and everybody's talking about this twist. I'm pretty sure it's Ray. Turns out it's Ray. Hell, I even knew because some people talking about post-credit scene, like, okay, so the only thing they could do for a post-credit scene is bring back Missy from the second movie. Yeah, turns out that's what they did. And okay, so I like the concept of Ray being killer. I have nothing wrong with that concept because, first off, this isn't Scream. Okay, I really like the first two movies. Don't love them. I love Scream. Okay, if in Scream 5 Dewey was a killer, then I'm like, okay, well then fuck you. Okay, mind you, this is the third movie following these characters. Okay, this is the third one. I've never had that much of an emotional attachment to these characters. Although Ray was my favorite from the first two movies. And the survivors. That doesn't mean that he can't be a killer. No, I like the idea that trauma took a hold of him and he just snapped and went crazy, because maybe he couldn't handle as well as Julie, but like that wasn't explored enough here. Okay, I mean there are other complaints that I'll get to them later, but I just really want to talk about this because it's really awful because it wasn't okay because they try to explore trauma and how that changed people, which I think is cool. I mean, it made the other Miss turn into a killer. We'll get to that later, but yeah. So yeah, I was like, but I mean, obviously changed the main character, Mrs. And then, so yeah, like it obviously changed all these characters. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. But yeah, so yeah, and it changed Mrs. And that's interesting to explore, especially when you're trying to, make Ray a killer. That makes sense to explore that. And then obviously, it makes sense to explore that for the movie, and the only thing that works. But they just didn't explore enough. Okay, they didn't do anything with it because first off, we barely see Ray in this movie. The trailers are building it up like Julie was Sydney from Scream 5, and he was Dewey, and I think that's for the most part kind of true. Because I didn't expect Ray to be the killer from the trailers. I expect him to die. But I like how but I like that. I like the idea of him being the sort of like the Dewey here. But then he's barely in it. He shows up a couple times, like like Julie's also in it so much less, which I expected. Whatever, fine, whatever. Legacy sequel bullshit. They're never gonna make the main character again. Okay, so whatever, fine. And he was barely in it, and also even if I hadn't have known that Ray was the killer, okay, I didn't. Even if I had known that, even if I hadn't have known that Ray was a killer, I would have been able to call it. And I know you usually like it's kind of like something that if you can't prove it, then why like since right? But like I would have been able to call it. Do you want to know why? Because the moment that the podcast girl takes off the mask of the killer, like like with Casey Becker in the first Scream, she says, "You." It's like she's been introduced to two members of this friend group. Obviously, it's not going to be obviously it's not going to be the main character. I mean, this wouldn't make any sense. She's alone. All those other reasons. She's not doing this right now. Obviously, okay. There are 1,000 reasons why I can't prove. And I don't think it's going to be the ex-boyfriend. But nothing suspicious about him. And I know everybody's a suspect, Randy Meeks, but still. Okay, and later on they just prove they can't be him by killing him. Like, okay, so it's Ray then. They're not making Julia a killer. I sure know that it's Ray, right? Like that's such a predictable twist. And why would you show your hand like that, right? Like it's just such a stupid thing to do. Okay, you're not clever, movie. And then obviously, there's the other twist, which is that Stevie was a killer, which honestly I'm fine with. I think that the actress did a good job, and I think that like her being crazy, I think that was actually pretty good. I think that was actually cool, but then everything, but like also like at the same time, like you're still not smart because I mean, in any other movie you would in a Scream movie, and probably a lot of times in this movie, you would suspect her to be a red herring, okay? Because of how stupid. Obviously, she's not going to be the killer, okay? But based on how much you're like, oh, that's the outsider of the group. Wow, we haven't talked to her in years. I heard her dad was insane, and she got addicted to drugs and had to go to rehab. It's like, okay, so that's a red herring, right? Red herring. Obviously, it's not going to be her. Okay, that's who. Okay, it is her. Yeah. Fine, whatever. Also, this creates plot holes because she had scenes alone with Ray, which is just odd and stupid. Like, why do you have scenes alone with Ray? It's like, I'm gonna protect you. I promise your dad I would protect you. It's like, what? I mean, you're the killers. Nobody's around. Nobody is around. You could just be like, okay, who are we killing next? Right? Like, oh my god, that's so stupid. Anyways, so that was already stupid. I feel like this is gonna be. I know what you did last summer 2025 review of this one. But you know, it's just such a stupid movie that it actually like it just pissed me off that they just that she's the killer because obviously, and you could use this defense. Okay, I love Scream, one of my favorite movies, my favorite horror movie. I mean, that's like the main reason I love horror. Like seriously, that movie is absolutely incredible. Okay, and you could use this defense on me. You know, what about Billy and Scream? Like any defender of this movie, is like, what about Billy and Scream, huh? What about Billy and Scream? You know, he was a red herring. He was so obvious that he was a red herring that it went the other direction. It was like, okay, so it's not him, right? And then it goes back on the other direction and says, no, it is him, which I think is a really cool twist because you initially write him off because like it's obviously not gonna be him. The movie's putting way too much emphasis on him being it being him. He's obviously not gonna be Ghostface. I mean, you know, it's quite obvious because he's obviously a red herring. That's what you might think for Stevie, but the movie does not put enough attention on the fact that she's a red herring for me to think that that's what they're going for. And if they were going for, you know, you gotta have characters be like, okay, so I think it's Stevie, right? You gotta get the characters get together. It's like, what if it's Stevie, you know? I mean, you know, what if this did mess her life up out of guilt and all this other stuff, and that's why she's coming for? She has a motivation. She's already has past mental illness. In which case, then you're like, okay, so she's a red herring. Bam, writing her off as a killer. Like writing her off, she's not a killer, right? But then they don't do that. They don't do that. They just make you say, you know, they never have any characters say it could be her, and then they just instantly make it her. It's just stupid reveal. Whatever, man. And just the dialogue, man. The dialogue is awful. It's truly some of the worst shit ever. Like, there's literally, and it just makes no sense within context. Okay, I'm gonna talk about the end. the post credit scene and the ending, because those are some of the goofiest shit I've ever seen in film, like some of the worst stuff like ever. But just like there are some lines before, and the lines never really make that much sense. And also, why is Julie giving advice like this to Scream? Okay, there are never rules. She's like, it's someone in your friend group. Right? It's like that's Dewey in Scream 5. That's not her. Okay, I mean, this movie copied Scream 5, similar to how the first film copied Scream. I mean, like, come on, man. Like, okay, I understand in the second movie, I still know, when you go to the Bahamas, like, the killer there is one of your friends. But in the first movie, it's not. Okay, it's not. You think it is for a second, it's not. Okay, you think it's Ray for a second, it's not Ray. It's the guy you hit and you thought was dead, but he's not actually dead. Okay, some random old fucking guy. Okay, man, like it's not him. Whatever. That's something. That's whatever. That's fine. But you know that's just it doesn't make sense for Wills. And then that one line, which is just there for the trailers, where she goes, the main character, she goes up to Julie after the college and she's like, Julie, there's a guy in a fisherman, like a fisherman slick or whatever, attacked me. And then she's like, very funny, huh? And then she looks at us like, I'm not joking. And she goes back up, she says, I just have one question. What did you do last summer? Oh my god, are you serious? First off, that's not what anybody would say. And like the emphasis was like the growl. It's like, buddy, that's not badass. Okay, and I don't want to blame this on the actress. It's a shitty line. Okay, she was good at. I mean, the actress was good in the first two movies. It's just a shitty line. Okay, and what did you do last summer? She didn't even mention that she did anything last summer. Okay, this could be totally unrelated. Okay, she didn't mention that she got I know what you did last summer. No, okay, nothing like that. She didn't mention anything about that. Okay, so no, it doesn't make any sense. And then there's just the ending of the movie where Ray is about to kill Julie. She's like, "What are you waiting for?" Which I thought was a pretty cool reference. Ray gets shot. He doesn't get to fight Julie. Julie was like, "Okay, fine, kill me. What are you waiting for, you bitch? Just fucking like kill me already." She like, and it's like it tries to paint this like this movie tries to paint this feminist, but she's like, "Oh, it's so badass." You know, they killed this man, and I'll get to that a little bit more later. But they don't really hammer home the degree where it's like, okay, it's not at least preachy, right? I mean, you know, all the men die, but still, ultimately, it's not really preachy, right? I mean, yeah, sure. But, like, yeah, sure, he's the ultimate killer. It doesn't really matter. There's already a female killer. It's not that big of a deal, right? But the fact that Julie was like, okay, kill me. Yeah, what are you doing? Just do it, right? It's just random with her character. I mean, she's always been, she's always been, like, a fighter. And she's, like, she wouldn't just stand there accepting her fate. Like, what are you doing? Just kill me. But she wouldn't do that, okay? Okay, and then he gets shot. I would have much preferred a big fight between Ray and Julie. That would have justified it a little bit more. And also, if they had maybe just like made Ray more sympathetic here, because obviously he's a killer, but like you could have gave a little bit more reasons of why he snapped. Like maybe he just was going through was just going through everything, and he had Julie, and then Julie had went through it, and then maybe if she like left him when they were married, and that just got to his head so much that now he was dealing with it, but now he's dealing with it all alone, and he's going through this trauma and the fact that this entire town is trying to erase him. That could be so much more interesting than what we got where they just gloss over everything. Whatever. And then the final like couple minutes in the movie, they just do this really stupid thing where the main two characters who survive somehow. I mean, Mrs. who's just like the new version of Jennifer Love Hewitt, I think, character from the original. I thought that was cool that they included a cameo or whatever. But she got stabbed in the stomach, and then Stevie pulled up the blade, like right to her chest. How did she survive that? I mean, and then she got thrown in the river. How did she survive the ocean? How did she survive that? I mean, she would not survive that. I don't understand how. That's so stupid. She would die. She was gutted. I mean, she was literally stabbed with a hook and then gutted. Like, that's fatal, believe it or not. Anyways, I feel like this franchise takes the worst parts of I feel like this franchise does not this franchise. This movie takes the worst parts of um the new Scream movies, like invincible characters and all those other bullshit. Like I feel like they just take the worst parts of those movies. But like whatever. So they're supposed to survive, and they're like high on painkillers or something. Quite obviously, it's like, oh, I haven't eaten in forever. Let's go eat something. It's like, that's just such total whiplash, bro. It was dark and serious about how trauma gets to people's minds, and it could turn a good person into this killer, into this serial killer, and it's like okay, and then they're just sitting on the beach eating like French fries. I'm like, what? It's so confusing, and they're talking and whatever, stupid bullshit. By the way, the soundtrack sucks in this movie. But the main character, she says, "Do you know what's crazy? All of this could have been avoided if men just went to therapy. You did not have this feminist message, really. I mean, just sure you had you had female characters who killed the main killer, but there's also a female killer. And there's a thousand reasons why it might be seeing that path, but you're not. You just have like women who are like do cool stuff, and that's 100% fine. Okay, there was like badass women. I mean, not even really that much in this movie. But if it was just to have badass women, which was the point, that's fine. That's fine. That's whatever. But first off, not only is that just completely stupid. I mean, yeah, men go to therapy. And that's like 100% untrue. I mean, you're making some shitty statement about men's mental health and all this other bullshit, and it's just a feminist message for absolutely no reason. And then also like, no, I mean, it doesn't even make sense in the context of the movie. Yeah, sure, Ray snapped, and you don't even know if he went to therapy or not. Okay, he might have. Okay, he went through a lot of PTSD. Okay, and for you to say, all of it could have been fixed if he just went to therapy. Second off, Stevie, okay? Stevie's the one who really did all this shit. Okay, maybe if she had went to therapy, then maybe this all could have been fixed. Because she's the one who's like, hey, Ray, you want to go kill some people? And then Ray's like, yeah, sure, I'm down for that. Ray probably wouldn't have killed anybody if she hadn't have came to him. Okay, I'm sorry. But that's the truth. Whatever, so it's already like, okay, but then it's already like bullshit. So then when they're zooming up, I'm like, oh, this movie's bad. So when they're zooming up, they had the gall to drop this humongous line where they're not even focused on them anymore. They're like zooming up, and the main character says, hey, I'm pretty sure Stevie's still alive. Should we go kill her? It's like, yeah, let's go kill her. I mean, it sounds around. Should we kill her? I don't really know. It's like, what? Stevie's alive? I know Ray kind of hinted at it before. It's like, she's like, you killed your partner. It's like, did I? It's like, okay, so maybe Stevie's alive. I didn't really understand that line, but it's like, okay, so that means Stevie's alive. Which I guess makes sense, because why would he kill Stevie for this person that he actually like cared about? That's the entire reason he was doing this. So why would he suddenly just want to kill her? So yeah, that's stupid, but and then ultimately it's just like, what? That's so random. You can't just drop that right at the end of the movie. Fine, whatever. And anyways, so the post credit scene happens. Fine, and it's like, I thought that the post credit scene at a certain point got to a shitty point, but I think that I mean, Julie James in the acting in the movie, I'm not gonna say it's bad. I think it's just bad script writing, because everything she has is like such a trailer line of, I just have one question. What did you do last summer? Like, that's such a trailer line. I mean, and all of these are just like such trailer sequel baiting, either trailer lines or sequel baiting lines that are meant to get people hyped, but they don't, because they're written shittily and it makes no sense within the characters, and the characters do not say this. So yeah, it's pretty hard to do a good job with that. And she is good in the first two movies, okay? But I mean, but in this scene, she's like, oh, everybody. She's seen the news reports, like, oh, like everybody's trying to kill that girl, something like that. It's like, it's cute. I like her character in the second one. So then she gets a like ring or knock on the door, or something like that, and it's Julie James there with a leather jacket and a ball cap, like she's in a Marvel movie. She's doing a shitty sketch. She's like Nick Fury. And she's like, I'm here to recruit you for the Avengers. But she's like, she comes in, she's like, and she shows her like this picture. She's like, oh yeah, all this blackmail bullshit, whatever. I didn't even really see what it was. But she's like, who we fucking up next? Like, okay, the way you said that wasn't bad. And then they cut back to Julie. It's like, okay, you should have ended there. I mean, it's already bad, but you should have ended there. Just for Julie to say another shitty line, it was just sequel bit. She says, that's what I was hoping you were gonna say. What? What? That's so bad. That is so abysmally bad. Whatever, man. I mean, I've spent way too much time talking about this one movie. I spent like 20 minutes. But I mean, it's just a bad movie. But it's not a completely awful movie. And I think that they could, if they improve their writing of particularly dialogue. I mean, it was obviously very cringy here. Don't force in a message. And if they know how to make a good twist and treat the legacy characters with respect, I think that next movie, like, that could be a good movie. Okay, I'm just if they make a sequel. But I'm just disappointed that they wasted away in this movie. They wasted the character, and I liked the twist, but they just didn't handle it well. So yeah, I mean, so whatever. Fine, and then moving on to my second worst movies. I still have to get through 10 good of my best movies. This is probably gonna be a long video. But yeah. So my second least favorite movie of this year is Companion. I watched it like today, and I was looking forward to it. Hey man, this movie looked pretty good. Forgot about it for like months because I mean just sometimes forget movies. So I was excited for this movie. I watched it. I was like, okay, that's pretty good. It seemed like a cool movie, but then at the end of the movie, I was like, this is bad. This is a bad movie. I don't even know what it was. It was I just thought that it wasn't good, okay? I don't even know. It was boring. I mean, it's not even that, like, the message got too far. Like, yeah, and I understand that it's a shitty message, but, still, it's odd. It's weird. Like, it's not a funny movie. Okay, not at all. I mean, there were a couple times I was like, okay, that's kind of funny, but it was just ultimately not that funny. It was weird. I mean, it was just a bad movie. I just didn't like it. It was oddly paced. Completely weird movie. And it could be a serious movie because obviously this is like the main characters go through a lot of like crazy shit in this movie, but they kind of play it up as a joke. Like they keep calling her like a sex bot. It's like, what? Like, it just ultimately, I thought that Jack Quaid's character was like a good villain. Yeah, ultimately it was like a bad movie and I just didn't like it. Okay, it was boring. It wasn't interesting. It wasn't engaging. And yeah, I mean, there was really nothing that was that good in this movie. And yeah, whatever. So, moving on to number one. So this movie, I love. You must be saying, why is it on the worst movies of the year? Because it is the worst movie of the year that I've seen, at least, undoubtedly. But it's also such a good movie because it's a total so bad it's a good movie. I don't care. Like, it's absolutely hilarious in how bad it was. It's obviously Ice Cube's War of the Worlds. It's Ice Cube's War of the Worlds. Okay, I haven't seen any of the other War of the Worlds movies. I haven't read the book. I think there's a book. But I'm not sure. Okay, I don't know anything about this franchise. Okay, I know that there's like a Steven Spielberg movie, I think, with Tom Cruise in it. And I know that it's like the radio show that made people actually think that like there are aliens and stuff. I think that's like whatever, fine. I was never interested in this movie because I don't know anything more of the world, whatever. Until I seen reviews of it, it's like, yeah, this movie is so bad it's a good movie. It's like, okay, so me and my brother, we watched it. It was hilarious. It was so funny. Based on how bad it was. I mean, first off, okay, the acting's awful. Ice Cube is a horrible actor in this movie. Okay, I don't even think he's that bad of an actor. I mean, I just due to the fact that it's New Year's Eve. I just watched Are We There Yet? Which is a New Year's Eve movie. I think that movie. I think that he's good in that movie. Not great or really good or anything. He's good. He does a good job. And then that's a good movie. And I think that he's good in the Friday movies and just like anything besides this that I've seen him in that I can remember, he's good in it. But in this movie, he just is not good at all because it's a bad script. He's also just not the right person to play this job. Okay, he's just not right for the role. It's also a bad script. I mean, there's one time that an alien's grabbing us he's like, move, bitch, get out the way. And yeah, there's another part where it's like, he keeps listening to his dead wife's recording of hey, can you take out the trash? And they get slated by the aliens. It keeps saying, data is our most valuable asset. Like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure that's like water or food or oxygen, something that we need to survive, and not data. And they're taking the data. And it's like, what? That's it? Like, that's the main alien's motivation? That they just want data? Okay, it's not that big of a deal. He's also a huge invasive creep that, like, spies on people. The Amazon product placement with, like, Roderick in this movie, being an Amazon delivery guy. And the fact that they get this homeless guy to risk his life to, get this to get this drone up and to risk getting shot by aliens is they bribe him with a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Not $1,000, a $1,000 Amazon gift card. And it's like, whatever. And this movie is absolutely incredible based on how bad it was. Okay, it was a really funny movie. And it's sorry that it took a long time. Maybe these ones will be shorter. I don't know. So here are my best movies of the year. So, I mean, there are other movies that I wanted to include that I really liked. You know, I mean, I'm not gonna get into them now, but yeah, there's just other movies. So, starting off number 10. Number 10 is Avatar: Fire and Ash. I really like the first two Avatar movies, especially the first one. And also I think that this one was probably the worst one. That doesn't mean it's bad. I still really liked it. Obviously, it's on my top 10 favorite. I thought that was really good. Obviously, the visual effects are amazing, but there isn't even a need to say that. But I did really like the Colonel. I mean, the Colonel, he's still evil, and I like that they kept that because I get worried that they're gonna make the Colonel good. It's like I don't want them to do that. But I like how he's like actually now like he's kind of like joined like the Na'vi at this point, which is kind of insane. I really like that. He's joined the Fire Clan, and I like the Fire Clan. I thought they were really good, interesting villains. That show that not all Na'vi are these good, innocent saints who might be assholes sometimes, like in the second one, but are all ultimately good. I like that the fact that this tribe is just purely evil, right? And yeah, I ultimately really liked this movie. There just isn't a lot that I can think of right now. I like the spider character, and I really like what they did with him. And yeah, all this. There's not a lot that I want to just get into right now, and I really liked it. Okay. Anyways, moving on to number 9 is Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. And I really like this movie. I think that it's really good because you're guessing throughout this entire movie the ultimate reveal. You like never know what's gonna be the ultimate reveal. You know, it was actually really surprising. I was guessing to the end because like it's really smart writing. I mean, a lot of people might call it stupid, but it's actually really smart because you know you just don't know what it is. You're like puzzled on what actually happened here. And yeah, I mean it makes you like reconsider everything, and just such an interesting movie with all the twists and stuff. And spoiler alert, I'm sorry I didn't say that for any you did last time, but this one is more recent. I forgot to say for that. But yeah, spoiler alert for this one. Yeah, the ultimate reveal that, it was, Jeremy Renner and the other misses. I thought that was really cool. And with, with the Sandman guy. And, like, it was just, like, I was puzzled. Like, I was like, how is he back to life? Are they going to make a supernatural thing? I hope they don't make a supernatural thing. How is he back to life? And also, I really like the fact that Rian Johnson, who I assume is an atheist, he doesn't, shit on another religion here. The main character is a priest, right? And although Benoit Blanc is an atheist, I'm fine with that because that makes sense within Benoit Blanc's character. The main character, is a priest, and I really like how they don't just go, hey, Catholicism is bullshit. They argue both sides. He argues both sides. Like, here's why it might not be true, it might be true, and whatever. I like the fact that he just didn't say, hey, this is bullshit. This is a fake thing. That's what I would be worried about. He didn't preach any message, and he actually stuck, and he didn't give a biased side to either. The other side didn't really give bias. Besides all the right wing shit, but that's to be expected. And that's fine because a lot of the points he was making was fair, and I just honestly don't really care. But he didn't shit on the Catholic religion. I really like that. He could have easily, but he didn't, and I respect that. And ultimately, all the reveals and stuff, I thought it was just ultimately a really good movie. Anyways, number 8 is The Running Man. So The Running Man just I only recently watched it in the past couple days. Same thing with another movie on this list. That's another Stephen King adaptation. But yeah, I really like this movie. I thought that was a really good movie. I haven't seen all of Edgar Wright's work. I've seen this, and I've seen Baby Driver, and I really like both of them. I haven't seen all of them. I plan on watching Shaun of the Dead one point, and I don't really know about a lot of his other movies. But yeah, ultimately, I really like this movie. I thought that the action is really good. It has a good message. I thought that the main character was really likable. It was really good to see him on this journey, and I thought that it was just ultimately a really good movie. But however, this ending is really rushed. I mean, this ending is just super rushed. I mean, it was way too rushed because so he's so spoiler for the movie. At the end, I like what they do. He takes the hostage on the plane. She gets off. He kills the hunter, and Josh Brolin's character's like, hey, come with us. You'll get your own TV show. Call it The Hunter and then change it to Hunter number 6. Come with us. You'll get your own TV show. Whatever. This is the start of it. You'll get your own TV show. Story, your family's dead. It's is his family dead? It might be AI because they keep faking stuff in the movie. It's but then at the end, he's like, okay, so you have, so he's like, so Ben Richards on live TV gives entire speech turn off your TV and go find kill Josh Brolin characters and all his allies. We cut the commercials, which is what's odd, and he's like, so you could do it this way, or we could have you try to crash into a building and get shot down. But then he flips him off with the 3, 2, 1. And he's fine, we'll just play it. They play the version. The plane gets shot down. And then I'm like, so Ben Richards just died? And then it cuts to this YouTuber from earlier, and he's like, so did Ben Richards die? He gives you on this whole entire conspiracy theory. It's wow, okay, we could have seen that maybe. He's added 20 minutes to this movie. Nope. And then he's so is Ben Richards alive? She's family. Okay, so they are alive. See them shop. And then Ben Richards is alive, and it's she's like, okay, that's cool. And then there's an entire riot at the end of the movie, right when the Running Man's the next scene about to start. There's an entire riot, and then Ben Richards walks out. It's hey, 3, 2, 1, shit. It's what? That was so rushed. And it wasn't that it was even that bad of an ending. I didn't think it was that good, but it was whatever. But it was so rushed that it was just painfully rushed. Bam, done, whatever. It's okay, fine, whatever. And it's we couldn't have lingered with the character. We could have done something there. Nope, it's just rushed as hell. Whatever, fine. Anyways, that's it. But it was ultimately a really good movie. So I don't know much about the Stephen King novel, so it may have been the exact same ending. It may make a completely change. I know for a lot of times in Stephen King adaptations, I know they don't a lot of times they don't keep the ending goes. In like a chapter 2, for example, there's entire jokes that Stephen King sucks at writing endings. So yeah. Anyways, on the next movie, number 7, which is Final Destination: Bloodlines. Ultimately, I really like this movie. I really like all the Final Destination movies. Well, not all of them. Okay, I think that the first one is really good. The second one, I think that the second one is pretty good. Not that good. Whatever. I don't like how they killed off Alex. Third one, it's worse than the second one. It's so good though. So good though. So yeah, I was fine with that. And then with the fourth one, absolutely abysmal piece of shit. Awful movie. Bad movie. With this movie, with 5, really like the best Final Destination movie up until that point, in my opinion. Best Final Destination movie. Love the ending, how it ties back into the original, and it's ultimately great, really good movie. Anyways, so the new one, I was like excited. I was like, oh yeah, I went to go see it in theaters. Really liked it. Okay, because I mean, just ultimately favorite Final Destination movie. I mean, it goes this one, 5, and then 1. Like it's like I really like this one. I thought that it was a blast. I thought that all the kills were really, really cool. And I thought that the idea was really fun and funny handled with all the kills. Very creative. And I like the fact that it's this bloodline. I like that. That's very interesting. With all these people that cheat death. I thought that the send off Tony Todd's character really worked and was really good. So ultimately, really like this movie. I thought it was great. So next one, number 6, is Novocaine. I watched it a while back. Ultimately, I really, really liked it. I have a review up on my channel if you want to see that. I reviewed a couple of these on my channel. I don't think I've had a review for anything yet that I've said on either list. I haven't had a review for either list yet. But yeah, there will be more as I get along. But yeah, ultimately, I really liked it. I thought it was a really fun action movie with a great premise about this guy who can't feel pain. A lot of really good gore, and I think that Jack Quaid did a great job. I thought all the performances were really good. I think the villains were really good. I think that ultimately just a great movie. Really liked it, and yeah. Anyways, number 5. This one is Now You See Me, Now You Don't. So essentially the relationship that I have with this franchise is that when I was a real little kid, I watched the second one. Don't think I ever watched the first one. Maybe I did. But yeah, I watched the second with my family. Didn't like it back then. Never watched any of these. Thought about watching a couple of them. Thought about watching them. Give them a chance for years. Never got around to it. Until this new movie was about to come out. I was like, okay, it looks good. So I watched the trailer. I was like, okay, it looks like a good movie. So then I decided finally, you know what, I'll watch the first movie. Really, really liked it. Absolutely, I became an instant fan of this franchise. Thought that it was great. Thought that it was really good. I thought that the twist surprised me and all this other stuff. I didn't really remember the second one, but I remember not liking it. I remember that Daniel Radcliffe was the villain, and remember not liking it. That was really about it that I remember from it. And it seemed like I knew that Isla Fisher was out, so it was like, okay, so this movie looks bad. Whatever, fine. Watched it, liked it. I actually really liked it. Not even close as much as I liked the original, but I thought that it was still really good. Which was surprising, and I actually liked. So I was like, okay, that's good. So then with this new movie, watched it, thought it was the best in the franchise. Easily. They brought back Isla Fisher's character. Spoilers, killed off Morgan Freeman's character, and I thought that the villain was really good. They even found a good way to bring back the other misses. I thought that ultimately it was a really good movie. Although I didn't like the new little asshole characters they introduced this movie, I really found them annoying. I still really like this movie. I thought that it was really good. And it's, yeah, the movie was really good. Watched it theaters, and I thought it was just a really good movie with a lot of really cool magics. And also, I always liked the idea of magicians around me. So I thought that was always a really cool idea. And I think that this movie just really also just did a great job doing it. Anyways, so moving on to number 4. This is The Long Walk. This is the other Stephen King adaptation on my list. So you know, with this one, I really, I was looking for it, but then, yeah, I watched it a couple days ago because I forgot to watch it when it came out. Yeah, like a lot of movies, like with the Running Man and stuff. So yeah, I watched it like a few days ago. Really liked it. I thought that it was a great movie, and I do have negatives, but ultimately, I mean, it's just a Hunger Games but with walking. That should be interesting, but the just the way they do it is so interesting. You know, you really like all the characters. Well, the ones you're supposed to, you really like them. They're really good characters. Well, it sucks when they die. It's really emotional. It's like a gut punch. And I even thought like there's nothing like glamorized about like the kids' deaths or the gun sound effect, which you hear. It's like, oh yeah, it usually gives like this excitement. It doesn't in this movie. It's just this the cold sound effect. It's really sad, and it's ultimately, yeah, really great. And then the ending came along, which I thought, that wasn't great. Because first off, okay, I know this changed from the original Stephen King book ending. I haven't read the book, but I know what happened. But I've heard about what happens at the end of the book. And this is a better ending. Okay, so essentially, the end of the book is that, Ray lives, and he just starts walking. He continues to walk down the road. It's kind of this weird, dark, it's like kind of sinister ending, but you don't really know what's happening. It's confusing and dark and stupid, and I don't like it. But however, I do like the idea of Ray living and him being the winner, because I think that ultimately, spoilers for the movie, Ray dies. Ray gets shot and he dies, and that's not abysmal. But I think that I think that first up, Pete should have won. I mean, no, Pete shouldn't have won. I love Pete. He was my favorite character in the movie. Peter, but like he just shouldn't have won. It should have been Ray who won. Okay, it just made more sense, and I would have been sadder if Pete died. But whatever with that already. But if the sad part about what makes Pete win worse is that what he asked for is a gun, and he shoots a colonel in the chest, which is essentially just all. That's why Ray entered the competition. That's what I wanted to do. He kills a colonel just so he could kill a colonel for his dad. But whatever. And I was like, but that makes no sense with the character. Okay, because he's always been like, what I want to do when I win is I want to ask them I want to ask them to make the winner of the long walk two winners, which is a really good idea. And they don't do that. He doesn't do that. He just shoots him instead, which is stupid. He probably just dies, which is sad. It's a sad, dark, depressing ending, which I don't like. There should have been a glimmer of hope at the end. Ray should have won. He shouldn't have shot the colonel. What he should have done instead was he should have went like, what he should have done is he should have went like, end the long walk, or give two winners, end the long walk. I think that's a great ending ultimately to the movie, because it gives a good message, and it's not just this dark, depressing ending. It's actually a good ending with the long walk ending, and he saved all these other people's lives. That's so much better than ultimately what we got. Whatever, fine, whatever. Ultimately, still a great movie. Anyways, so the next one. So number 3 on my list is Jurassic World Rebirth. So I really like this movie. I have a review on my channel if you want to go see that. But ultimately, I really like this movie. I thought that it was the best one since the original. I'm not gonna get into a lot here because I have a review on my channel. Again, if you want to hear my more in-depth thoughts, you go see that. It's already a pretty long video, so yeah. And you still have 2 more to get through, so yeah. Ultimately, I really liked it. I thought it was a really good movie. Anyways, next one, number 2. Thunderbolts, or now, spoiler alert, the new Avengers. I'm reviewing this on my channel, so yeah, I really, 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 really like this movie. Okay, I thought that the the allegory for mental health problems, I thought that was really, really good. With these characters all being depressed and all that stuff, I thought that was really interesting, and I thought that they brought in the Sentry and the Void really good. I thought they were great villains. And I thought that Val was really handled well. It was surprising. It wasn't like I expected to be like a Suicide Squad with this. It's not really. It's Suicide Squad with Marvel. It's not really, because they're essentially working against Val. They're trying to kill Val. They're reluctant, and they have the team to go kill Val. Right. So yeah, I really like that. I really liked all the characters in this. I thought that they were all they're really funny. They're just ultimately great characters. So yeah, I thought that it was pretty dark and everything. It was just really good. Ultimately, it kind of does give purpose to phase 4 and 5 by, because a lot of people were like, okay, why aren't we getting an Avengers movie? This is just lost and directionless, which kind of gives purpose to it all. Because, this one is like, so you don't have the Avengers, so you have this guy. Ultimately, I don't want to get too deep into it, but it gives the message of, it gives the thing of Civil War of superheroes in shambles before the big finale of the saga, but in a different way, where instead of these characters fighting, there's just not really an Avengers team. There's a Thunderbolts, and that's it. So I think that's all really interesting. I really liked it. Ultimately, it's about my number 1 movie of the year is Superman. And yeah, I mean, I have a video on my channel if you want to see this, so I'm not going to get too in depth. But yeah, I really, really like this movie. I actually love this movie, and I thought it was a great movie. I thought that Superman just being this pillar of hope, and all just got so many characters right so damn well. The costume was great, everything was great, all the characters were great, and ultimately, it was a really great movie. Anyways, yeah, that's my list for all the movies. For my top 10 best and my top 4 worst, because those are like the bad movies that I put down here of 2025. Ultimately, it was a crazy year, big year, and yeah, and I'll see you in the new year. Bye.